Hi everyone, let's solve this question. This is a question which I've created based on the questions given in the GMAT official advanced questions book. Now let's get started. Derek had two fruits in his hand and so did Sarah. Each of them only has apples or oranges. Derek and Sarah exchanged one fruit. Finally, did Derek have two apples? So that's the question. Now we are given two statements. Statement 1 says, after the exchange, Sarah had one apple and one orange. And statement 2 says, before the exchange, Derek had two apples. Alright, so pause the video, give it a try, and then let's solve this question together. Alright, we are back. I hope you have given it a try. Now, let's take a look at the statements which are given over here. And remember, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and support us so that we can continue bringing you good content. Let's get started. As per statement 1, it says after the exchange, Sarah had one apple and one orange. So that's what's given over here, right? So Sarah had one apple and one orange. Now the question which we have to find as per the question is, finally, did Derek have two apples? So that's the question. After the exchange, Derek had two fruits. Where the two fruits? Two apples. So that's the question. Now over here, the only information given is the final state of Sarah was one apple and one orange. And we don't have any information about Derek, right? It can be that he had initially, let's say, an apple and an orange and they made some exchange, and it could still be an apple and orange, or it could be anything, right? You can clearly see there is not at all sufficient information to know what is the final state of Derek. So statement 1 alone is not sufficient. What about statement 2 alone? Before the exchange, Derek had two apples. So as per statement 2 alone, we know that before the exchange, Derek had two apples, all right? And the question is, finally, did Derek have two apples? Now, if let's say Sarah also had two apples, right? In that case, when the exchange happened, Derek would be having two apples. But let's say Sarah had two oranges. So in that case, if the exchange happened, Derek would have an apple and an orange. So again, not sufficient information to have a definite yes or a definite no. So statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Statement 2 alone is not sufficient. Now let's try to combine these two informations. So we know that initially Derek had two apples and then exchange happened and the final state was Sarah had one apple and one orange. Again, the only thing that we can make out by using these two pieces of information is that this apple over here, right, has to have come from Derek, because in the exchange, this orange cannot come from Derek, right? Because he had two apples. So we are sure that this apple came from Derek, but more than that, we don't have any information, right? We cannot find whether the second fruit in the case of Derek is an apple or an orange, because we don't know what Sarah initially had, right? We know that she definitely had this orange, but then we don't have enough information about what was here, right? What was here is not very clear. So if what was here was an apple, then in this case, this was apple and apple. But if what was here is an orange, then it's apple and orange. Again, so even by using these two pieces of information together, we are not able to solve the question. So the correct answer to this question is option E. All the best in your preparation.